Like, in my ideal society, liars, people who lie, they get the tower, okay? They go to the tower. The theme of tonight, if you're wondering, what's the theme of today's stream? What an ominous title to the stream. What's strange? Like, what's Eris going on? This is what I'm doing right now, okay? This is what I'm being right now. I'm being a baby. No, I'm not pregnant. I have just become a baby. Like, this, I'm just warning you, this whole stream is gonna be me wang, okay? Or as we say in the gamer world, QQing. And I'm warning you, it's coming from a billion places of privilege. I didn't even want to complain because I was like, I know this is gonna sound so bad. This is gonna come off so obnoxious. Like, I don't mean going through anything really intense. It's just like, it's a lot of little things. My mental health is in a precarious nature. I get stressed from the most minor of things. So one of the things is, I don't know if you guys saw my tweet. I made a tweet about how I was basically getting harassed by someone. And does not compare to some of the harassment I've seen other streamers deal with, like what I've seen Demonmama deal with, or Destiny, what I've seen him deal with. Like, it doesn't even compare. That's why I feel like such a baby, like, complaining about it. So I've just been, like, getting harassed by this dude. I did, like, a bit months ago on stream. And the joke was making fun of, like, a woman who's well-meaning. And the joke was, like, basically making fun of someone, you know, who doesn't understand that when we're talking about an Indian issue, we weren't talking about an indigenous issue, right? They're two different groups of people. So, like, it was making fun of ignorance. Anyways, I made that joke, and everyone in the chat took it well. It was a pretty snowflake joke, because I'm a fucking queen of snowflakes, okay? I can be speaking in a room full of woke schools, and I won't offend any of them. I'm really good at that. And it's because I'm a snowflake myself. I'm sensitive as fuck. So I always try to practice what I preach. When I make jokes and stuff, I'm really careful with going edgy or something like that. Like, I'm not gonna take things there. I'm just being totally honest. Okay, I'm that stereotype that right-wingers fucking hate. I'm a snowflake. Like, literally, when someone says the R word around me, I'm like, ugh, that's a bad word. Don't say that. But yeah, so I made, like, it was such a tame joke. And he twists it to make it that I was joking about indigenous genocides. And that's not at all what I was joking about, right? And everyone in chat knew what I was saying. It was such, like, you could have told this joke at, like, the most mainstream party, okay? I could have told that joke on Twitter and no one would have canceled me. On Twitter. But one of my viewers is offended by it. And even though I really feel like I did my best, you know, to make sure that the joke was okay, I know that, like, you can't ever control how someone takes something. And I still wished that I would have considered, like, how someone who didn't hear the context of what I was saying, I didn't understand the hurt, but, like, I still respected it because I have this thing called empathy. Even if I don't understand, like, why I've hurt someone, the fact that I've hurt them, I take full responsibility for it. And I always try to figure out, like, what did I do? How can I fix this? How can I prevent this in the future? And it normally serves me well. I think it helps me in interviews immensely. But the problem is that, like, it also kind of opens the door up for someone to really take advantage of that. So whenever I'm getting a criticism, whenever someone comes to me and says that, oh, I was offended by something you said, and I just take that 100%, like, they make a claim and I just 100% believe them, no matter what, and they're anonymous, they're anyone, like, they're just some random person, right? And I just took that, automatically believed it. I don't think most other streamers would do that. And I'm starting to understand why. You're wondering why streamers like Destiny and stuff seem cold? It's probably because he's been dealing with this shit for a long time, and it hardens you. So, like, this person says they're offended, they want a refund for their sub, all of that kind of stuff. I don't even know how to do refunds. I don't even, like I said, like, you have to talk to Twitch. Like, I'm totally fine with it. I understand. I literally asked them for their contact information so I can make a long-winded email apologizing. And I did. Debating, do I want to show the apology on stream? Okay, here's my anxiety. The email he uses his real name. I think it's his real name. I don't know if it is. It sounds like a real name. All of his Twitter handles, his YouTube handles, everything, he uses his real name. The only thing he doesn't use his real name on is Twitch. And so he's always commenting and harassing me, and we'll get into the harassment later and how that develops. So then when I mention his real name, because I'm just mentioning the account, he calls it doxing. And then he starts reporting all my videos. No, I think I fucked up. I think I fucked up by sending the email. So he told my mod that he was offended. I felt really bad because I'll be honest, the idea that any of you watching, that I could hurt any of your feelings, even if it was totally unintentional, it actually makes me really fucking sad. So I felt bad, and I also wanted to figure out what it was specifically and how I could kind of word that in the future so it doesn't hurt him. It feels stupid that like he can harass me on all these accounts and I just can't like mention that I have to be worried about calling it out and that I'll be considered doxing. I sent him a long email, and I remember I sent that email to Chud Logic. You guys know Chud Logic, the streamer? He's a friend of mine. Really admire the guy. And I said, hey, do you think that this is good? Do you think that this is a good reply? What do you think? Chud goes, it's a good message, and he should take it well. And then he said, but I still don't think you should send it. And I said, why? And he's like, you never want to like engage these people. And I was like, oh, but he's just hurt by something I said. I think he's just misunderstanding. So I'm clarifying. Because he thinks I said something I didn't. And it was just like, it was a total, so I was like, oh, it's just a misunderstanding. So it's like, I really want to like clear the air. And he's like, I would still be careful. Like, it's like, you can't write a better apology, but like, you just don't want to engage these people. So moral of the story, listen to Chud Logic, right? There's a reason why his name's Logic. He ends up responding back to me even worse. And by the time he's responded back to me, I'm like, this is not what I thought. I thought it was just like a guy, he's a little sensitive. I'm sensitive too. I get it. He's like offended by something. He's hurt by something. Maybe he's going through something and he'll appreciate that I took the time out of my day to write like 4 paragraphs, talking to him, taking responsibility and all that kind of stuff. And then we can kind of engage in a good discourse and it'll be a productive thing. No, that is not what happened. What ends up happening is he starts just like full attacking me. It's like he took the apology as like a license. Like it was like I opened a door for him. That's how it was done. This is just one person. So like, I know some people who deal with this from like thousands of people and it just rolls off their shoulder. Anyway, but yeah, he just responds and he just takes it as an open door to just start full attacking me. He doesn't accept my apology. He doesn't listen to anything I said. He just completely ignores me. Then he ends it with an anti-Semitic stereotype. Here's just a tip, right? If you make a complaint about racism to me, you probably shouldn't be racist in the letter. And I'll tell you verbatim, like what he said to me, that I don't care about what's going on with the indigenous people. I only care about what's happening to my people. And that's all I talk about. Which, as everyone knows, is a dual loyalty, anti-Semitic stereotype that Jews only care about other Jews, Jewish supremacy, and all that shit. Do I think he realized what he was saying? I don't know. He probably just maybe just thought it was like a quip or something. I mean, it's like when you tell like a black person something to do with like a monkey or something, right? Like, even if you make it sound nicer, what the black person's gonna hear is what they really know it means. And to me, what that meant, be honest, maybe I'm just being sensitive, but to me what that meant was, you're just a typical Jew who only cares about other Jews. Whether or not he knew he was engaging in anti-Semitic stereotype, it's whatever. That was the weird irony, is like this guy is like complaining and I'm trying to be so like open-minded and apologetic, and he's saying something to me which I think is so much worse than anything I could have been misconstrued as saying. So at that point, I'm like, okay, this guy, I'm not going to take him seriously. He's just like some random concern troll. Like, Chud Logic was right. And this is actually what freaks me out about this person. Because like, I'll send them all these nice things. And, you know, if he's still pissed off, a normal person, sorry, I shouldn't say normal, an average person, okay, would literally just respond with, no, I'm still pretty pissed off, but it's whatever. Maybe they would have said that. But instead, he just like responds in like hate message, hate message, hate message. And they're really long. He starts messaging me on Discord, and then he starts again attacking me. I'm like, okay, this guy's a concern troll. This can't be real. Like, there's no one in their right mind like would get offended by this shit. This makes no sense. I don't blame you for trying. At least I'd probably try. Well, I'm a new content creator. I've only been doing this. Like, people act like I've been here for years. Guys, I've been doing this for 4 months. I literally am a baby. So a lot of how I treat viewers is how I always hoped I would be treated because, you know, when you're a viewer, right? You think like sometimes a content creator does something that pisses you off. Say you're watching a content creator and they do something and they kind of disappoint you. And if that content creator had messaged me, tried to understand my perspective, at least heard me, even if they disagreed, and gave me the time of day to talk to me about it, I would think that was pretty chill. And I think that that was like my first mistake. Like, I think I'm always operating, especially with viewers, how I always wish streamers would act with viewers. And I'm starting to understand now, as a streamer, why streamers are so distant with some viewers. But this happens a while ago. This is months ago. I hadn't heard from this guy in like a while. I blocked this guy everywhere. I learned from it. I moved on, etc. He starts going to like every community I participate in online. I just want to say that this is not like physically stalking whatsoever, right? Like, he doesn't know where I live or anything. Thank God. But he starts like online stalking me, right? Like, he's just going to every community I could go in. There's like a Reddit thread that was made by one of my viewers about the harassment I got when I got death threats from that other streamer that we won't name her name. And then he comments complaining about me. Like, who does that? Like, who goes to a place where someone is talking about like being a victim of something and then you bring up, well, you victimized me? He's really trying to get me canceled. Like, he's trying to like spread around that I made a joke about the indigenous genocide. I mean, I did it live on stream. Everyone heard it. I didn't. Like, it's a total misunderstanding of what I was saying. So yeah, he starts like commenting everywhere. He's really trying to spread around that like I was doing this. So he goes to like Demonmama's community, goes to Vash's community, goes to Destiny's community, goes to like any major streamer in the space. He's going to their communities. He's going to their Discords, their Reddits, their like their live streams, their websites. And he's just commenting. He's just trying to spread it. He's trying to get me canceled, and not one person's buying it. And I just start ignoring it. But eventually he goes on Destiny's stream, like last week, and then I listen to it and I review it. He gets really upset about that. He claims that I made like a whole stream about him, and then he starts commenting, and then it just reignites his anger. He also starts reporting my videos. So he starts claiming that I doxed him. When I was reviewing the video, I said that I knew who the guy was. And he wasn't hiding who he was. He was literally commenting. The only reason why I knew it wasn't that I recognized his voice. I don't know his voice, right? Okay, it was that he literally was commenting on the YouTube video with the same name. And then he used the same handle for everything. If that's his real name, that's really stupid. But yeah, like he's commenting on everything. And so he starts claiming that I'm doxing. Yeah, like he literally uses his name in everything. Like, so he's using his name to harass me publicly. Like, this is not private DMs or anything. He's doing this on Reddit. He's doing this on YouTube. He's doing this in Discord, always using the same name. He's commenting on my YouTube videos with his real name, referring to himself as I. So he's already like, he's saying that it's him. It's him. It's not like a secret. You could say he's doxing himself, but it's not even doxing. Like, he's not even doxing himself. He's just like, that's just him. And so now I'm in this fucked up situation that I'm like, wait, should I not be saying his name? Like, we've had a privacy complaint about your videos, right? So now he's going around that I'm committing an illegal act. It's a crime in Canada. And he's probably going to get really frustrated with this video. But anyways, people are saying he's a surf mod. I'm pretty sure that's not true. I hope he's not. Because this guy is unhinged. He's gone past the point of being just like typical rational person that's just upset. Yeah, no, Lance is really nice. So I 100% know that if he knew about this and he was a mod, it wouldn't be a shit. But I have a feeling he's not actually a mod.
You're pulling an Eris here.
It's just like Destiny and Lance, like they hate one another. So I think they're always going to like make up shit about one another. Like their communities. This is a meta stream. It's all about drama. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's about drama and me whining. What if this is part of an elaborate plot to make the Cirques look bad? Honestly, I would welcome, I hope it is. I know Lance behind the scenes, and he is like so not chill with harassment and stuff. He's one of those guys that practices what he preaches.
You're pulling an Eris here.
I know a lot of people in Destiny's community don't like him, and we have a bunch of disagreements. I understand some of the criticisms. I agree with some of the criticisms, but like everything I know about him, he's a nice guy behind the scenes. So like he starts reporting my videos, and so I have to start spending my free time instead of planning and researching my streams. Now have to start spending my free time, you know, like crafting my responses to YouTube, like double checking, freaking out to my editor. So like I have to spend my time responding to that. When I found out that he had like started reporting my videos, it's like, oh my God, now he wants to ruin my income. Like that's when your shit goes a bit far. And YouTube's not exactly known for being fair with this shit. So let's hope that everything, that they're fair-minded and all that stuff. But even in the YouTube videos, I don't mention his name once. So I've been dealing with that. It's frustrating because for me, every single regular viewer I have means the world to me. Like I learned all your names. I try to remember everything that like you talk about, your opinions, what type of streams you prefer, you know, when you have good days, when you have bad days. Like I try to remember everything as much as I can. So it really it really bothers me, like the idea that just like one person, like I could have one person that could turn out to be an amazing viewer for me, and that person can be taken away because they believe him, right? And just because they're well-meaning, because they believed him the way I believed him initially.
You're pulling an Eris here.
And that upsets me. But I really don't like, I hate lies. I hate lies. I hate them so much. I think it's my bias as a historian. I hate someone saying something that's not the truth. And I hate the idea that they could just like regularly repeat it without any consequence. Like in my ideal society, liars, people who lie, they get the tower, okay? They go to the tower. Online drama is like a game of telephone. Once the rumor starts, from one streamer, it spreads like wildfire. Well, Sleepy Joe, that's exactly what I was worried about, right? Because I know how these lies get spread. Like, there are total ideas about streamers that are just like crazed so far from the truth that just do not exist. And it's just because one person repeat lies. So like, I'm very conscious of that. So like, when someone makes up a lie about me, I want to nip it in the bud. Like, nip. And if it's true, then I want to own up to it and move on. I mean, if I made a joke like that, like, God knows, like, I deserve to be canceled. But anyways, that's what's going on with the harassment. Some people thought I was being stalked in real life. Like, I didn't mean to be dramatic like that. Like, I don't think he's actually gonna kill me. I was just being a drama queen. So anyways, I'm dealing with that. That's not even like the cream. That's not even like the half of it, okay? This is like walk into my baby mind. Anyways, oh, by the way, the stream title, The State of the Stream, 100% I stole it from Demonmama. She does these things called The State of the Stream, where it's like State of the Union, you know? And I just stole it from her, like point blank. I'm just being totally honest about that. It's just like she has so many good ideas. It's like one has to steal some. Okay, so big announcement time. Drum roll, please. So there's some things that I kind of wanted to talk about directions that I wanted to move in with the stream and ideas that I kind of have, because I've been streaming now for 4 months. And when I started streaming, I don't think I realized how history focused my content was going to be, because I didn't realize how much people wanted to have history knowledge. I've always kind of been the history nerd in my group of friends and in like my circles, and no one really liked hearing about it. Like, I'm always just used to people being really bored by history, and I think I've been a little shocked by how much people want to hear me talk about history, and pleasantly surprised. And it's hard because I'm really the largest history streamer on Twitch. I'm kind of like, you know what I mean, I toot my own horn a little, but I'm kind of trailblazing a new category. One of the challenges with that is that like there's no path made for you. And so I kind of have to chart my own. That means that there will be more mistakes. It will be a learning process. And I think that I'm going to have to restructure, like, how do I incorporate more history content into my streams while still not burning myself out, and also being responsible with the content. Because history content's not like political content. Political content, you literally just like read the news. It's always out there, new fact, changed fact. History is different. There's a higher standard of academic credentials and all that stuff, and I still need to be responsible. So I need to balance that while still being entertaining and still being a consistent daily streamer. So something that I've been thinking about, first of all, if anyone has ideas, I want to start doing like series of every day, like there's kind of like a series. So I might do some React Andy stuff, but that's going to be the smaller parts of what I do with streaming. The main part, like the meat of each stream, is going to be like, you know, what is the series of the day? So like Mondays we do this, Tuesdays we do this, etc. So I'm going to be honing down on my DGen history. That's number one. And I think DGen history we're going to put on Thursdays. I'm going to figure out the schedule and then I'll be announcing on Twitter. But I'm going to be launching a new series. So one of those series is going to be happening once a week. Dun dun dun, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. I'm really excited about this. History true crime. Like, I will be telling a true crime story. We'll be investigating it just like true crime, but it will be a crime from history. So it can be a serial killer let loose in ancient Rome that really happened, and it'll be researched and all of that kind of stuff. We could delve into Jack the Ripper, right? And the details of Jack the Ripper and how he created the modern concept of the serial killer. It's basically like telling a crime in history, but in that same narrative kind of format that you see people do with true crime. And I think that in history, we tend to sometimes be so focused on patterns, like this era, and then there was a trend of this and this. And I really want to focus on telling the stories, because you can get patterns from Wikipedia. There's a time and place for those patterns, but I really want to be telling you those stories. I love telling stories. I think that that's going to be great. It's going to be really good listening content too. So if you're in a situation where you can't watch my stream, I really want my streams to be able to be like good podcasty kind of content and not so visually focused, because when I'm doing like react content, it's so focused on the visuals. I don't know what's wrong with me. I like get excited about like murders in history. It's fun stuff. Okay, something that I'm already planning one is the crime that got Britain to end its death penalty. A lot of people don't know about the story about the crime. It's a fascinating story, and where basically the wrong guy gets sentenced to death because he was framed by a serial killer. Like, it's a crazy story, and that's why they got rid of their death penalty, because they're like, oh, well, if it happened once, it could happen again, right? And it's obviously a really sad story. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that the innocent died. I get too excited about this shit. It's like inconsiderate. This is why I do historical content, not political content. But yeah, there's a lot of really fun stuff. So that's going to be a new series too. But obviously that's going to require more research. So I'm going to be balancing it with some like smaller, less researchy kind of streams. So I'm going to be figuring out what to do with the other days. If you guys have ideas, I always appreciate suggestions on my subreddit or in the Discord server. That's super cool. But yeah, subreddit, please go to r/Eristocracy. Perfect place to suggest something. I think it's Aristocracy, not Aristocracy TV. Yeah, I just want to move towards being more history focused and less politics focused, because God knows there's enough political streamers. There's a lot of them. And I'm also going to be kind of bridging my interviews to more YouTubers, I think. So yeah, I'll be focused on doing some more like YouTube style interviews, and maybe some interviews with like survivors of situations, that kind of stuff that I find like super interesting. But yeah, I really want to start building and improving the stream. I feel like now I've streamed for a solid 4 months. I've kind of gotten the lay of the land. I know what I need to do.
Oh, you're pulling an Eris here.
So yeah, I'm moving towards fixing it. So this is the time to follow. This is the time to subscribe, because the stream is going to Eris 2.0, okay? Everything is going to be even better.